Rules. It has zero welding, all-strip body. It was only seatbelt. Welcome back to Zach's workshop. Yesterday we got this motor into the shop. We got it all positioned on the engine stand. We got a little bit of tools, some bags, and basically we checked to see if the motor had oil in it, and it didn't. So I don't know what the inside of this motor is going to be like. What we're going to do today is we're going to pull basically everything off that's going to be in our way. We're going to pull these the water pump bolts, we're going to pull all the carburetor bolts, put them all in their separate bags, we're going to pull the valve covers, we're going to pull the water pump, pull the fuel pump, pull all the plugs, because the back side on this side's got no plugs in it, but this side does. Because this motor was taken apart by somebody else that was, I'm going to say, in their teens, I don't really know what's going on, because I know when I was 16, 17, I tore a lot of stuff apart and nothing ever got built out of it. So let's start taking this motor apart, and stay with me guys and stay tuned. So first impression of this motor is that it's pretty dirty. See all the calcium all built up, old coolant, even like in here. Like, it's not sludgy, it just looks like it's been sitting quite some time. It feels dry, and like even inside the valve covers, you can see how dry they look. What we're going to do now is we're going to undo all the head bolts, which are down here. You can see all the oil sludge down in there. We're going to remove all the head bolts and remove the heads right off of this. But before we do that, we're going to take out these spark plugs because they're already getting broke. Take those right out. Well, there's some good news and bad news about this motor. The good news is that it came apart pretty easy. The bad news is I don't know if this thing's savable. So that's why she wouldn't turn over. This is what happens when you guys let a motor sit. I'm going to keep tearing it apart, but I don't have a sonic cleaner or anything like that. Like, the head gaskets all look good. The bottoms of the heads all look good. It's just the the pistons themselves. Like, when I said the kids were trying to shove their homework in there, I wasn't lying. That's paper. That's physical paper coming through the valve. So, I don't really know what these kids were thinking. Now, even that one's not the best. But I don't know if this is going to be able to be rebuilt the way I want it to be rebuilt for cheap. And here's the other side. I guess we should just keep tearing her down, see how far we get, and see what parts we need to reassemble. So just for you guys that know, when you take off the oil pan and there's a big chunk of ice in there after the motor's been sitting inside of a heated shop for 4 days, that's not really a good sign. Well, with the oil pan off, now you can see what the bottom of this motor looks like, which is overall not that bad. It doesn't really seem there's like a lot of play on any of these pistons, but this is only a 2-bolt main. Now if this was a 4-bolt, there'd be another one here and another one there on every one through. So that basically means this motor is worth less. It's not worth less, it's just worth less than a 4-bolt main. We're going to try to take off all the bearing caps, and then what we're going to do is we're going to try to take all the pistons out, and if we can get the pistons out, maybe we can try to hone the cylinders. We'll see. Now that the crank is out, what we're going to do is we're going to take a block of wood and we're going to pound each one of these cylinders out, and then we're going to put them with the corresponding cap, because all these cylinders came out in order and they're going to go back in order. A motor wears in a certain way and you want to make sure it goes back in the certain way. As of this point right now, I am not sure I'm going to continue with the rebuild of this. I'm going to continue tear down, and then I'm going to try honing the cylinders to see if it's fixable. Motor's completely torn down now. Pistons out, camshaft out, lifters out, and my opinion on it is we're going to try to hone out the cylinders in tomorrow's episode and see if we can get them clean. If we can get them clean, we'll head to town and we'll buy some parts for this. What we'll buy is probably maybe new piston rings, maybe new ring bearings, maybe new crank bearings, and a gasket kit. And lifters. Oh yes, and new lifters. Thanks for watching today's episode on Zach's Workshop. Be sure to hit that like button and the subscribe button. See you guys tomorrow.